Hey guys and girls, and welcome to another pickup video. Right, it's been over a month and it's quite fair to say that I've accumulated quite a bit of stuff. A lot of it I found for cheap, so I've at least got that going. And yeah, let's not dilly-dally around, let's get started. First of all, got a couple of controllers to show off. First one is another spare Dreamcast pad because you can't have enough spares. So, and this one is in fairly good condition actually. I mean, it doesn't look like it's been used at all, especially if you look at the buttons. Because normally you get you use buttons. Obviously, you get dirt accumulating inside the lettering, but it doesn't look like this was used very much. And I got a green memory card as well. This didn't actually come with the controller, I got this separately, but both this and this were actually really cheap. And I got them both from CEX as well, which surprised me even more. But, you know, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to get cheap stuff, so especially useful stuff like the Dreamcast pad. I actually think that makes now 4 Dreamcast pads that I have, so at least I have the full complement. Sounds alright. Right, next up. This was actually an item that I was searching for on eBay for quite some time beforehand, and they had like boxed versions for like I think it was like 15-20 quid or something, and I can't remember how much this was, but it definitely was not 15-20 quid, and that's the PlayStation mouse. So this is really handy for playing games like I think it's compatible with Quake 2, it's compatible with Final Doom, and what game am I playing currently? Alien Resurrection. It works really well with Alien Resurrection. Doesn't work too well with Final Doom though. So if you're going to play Final Doom with a mouse, just play on a PC. Yeah, PlayStation mouse. It works really well. It's the old style ball variant, but it's got some really nice clicky sounds as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. And it, you know, works obviously. So that's just the 2 controllers that I got. And now, moving on to a little curio here. It's technically related to games, so I just want to show it off. Half of this stuff I've shown off on Twitter already, so some of it might not come as a surprise to a handful of people. But first thing is, well, the only thing is, PacMan Kinect 4. I can't remember how much this was. I think it was about £10, something like that. I bought it a while ago. And I quite like Kinect 4. I mean, I do have an original board, but quite fond of Pac-Man as well. I do like collecting things that are involved with Pac-Man. I seem to have become an accidental fan of Pac-Man. Obviously, you've got your instructions. I haven't put any of this together, by the way, so you got yourself your counters there. You've got a special dial counter from the looks of it. I mean, have a little look at it there. You've got like numbers there, 1 to 5, and I assume they go in there and you rotate it for whatever reason. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. And obviously you've got the game board as well. And what makes this different from regular Kinect 4? First of all, visually, obviously, you got the stickers which you can put on the tokens. You got Pac-Man and I can never remember what the red ghost is called. No doubt I'll correct myself when I come to edit this video. And you got these as well, these little egg-shaped tokens as well, with the bell and the cherry sticker. So I'm not sure what those are for, so I'll probably find out at some point down the line. There appears to be a sticker missing. Sticker. Pac-Man sticker, they just come off the sheet. That's always good. Pop that back together. I'll just pop it back sloppily, and I'll just I'll sort it out when the video's finished. I'll just put that there for now. So yeah, PacMan Kinect 4, that was an interesting little curio I picked up. Right, now on to some games. I've got myself quite a collection of games for various systems, so got a couple of Wii games. First of all, Countdown. Now, obviously, those of us in the United Kingdom, and I think France as well, because that's where the show originated, yeah, we'll all be very familiar with Countdown. So, those of you that don't know what Countdown is, it's a letters letters and numbers game where the letters portion you have to make up words ranging from 4 to 7 letters, from 4 to 9 letters long from a selection of randomly chosen letters, and a number game where you get a series of 6 numbers, and they can be like some small numbers or some larger numbers, and then you have to use those numbers to add up to, or to get to, a randomly chosen 3-digit number. So that's pretty much the premise of Countdown. I quite like Countdown as well. And of course, those of us in the UK are very much aware of 8 out of 10 Cat Stars Countdown as well, which I love even more. So yeah. And second of all is Bust a Move, aka Puzzle Bobble. Now, I like Bust a Move a lot anyway, but played the Wii version when I got this, and I've got to say this is absolutely fantastic. You can use the Wii remote to point at the screen, and you do aim a little reticle on the screen, but somehow it works. It makes aiming a little bit easier than using an arcade stick or a controller or whatever, but it's still just as challenging, I would say, sorry. So yeah, Bust a Move. It's got 10 characters, 4 game modes, puzzle, endless, versus, and shooting. So far I've only tried versus, but not versus, puzzle, standard Puzzle Bobble puzzle. But for £2.50, this an absolute steal, so worth it. So those are Wii titles right there. Next up, I've got a couple of, pardon me, we've got a couple of PlayStation 2 games. First one is Fur Fighters Viggo's Revenge. Now this is an updated version of the original Dreamcast Fur Fighters, which I don't have, but for 50p I wasn't going to turn this down, no way. It looks like a very fun game. Cell shaded heavy artillery shooting game, and yeah, it comes with the manual and the disc. I can't remember what the disc condition's in actually. I think it's alright. Yeah, the disc is fine. Got a couple of surface marks on them, that's about it. And this game I bought purely for a laugh. Same reason for the other installment in the series, and for the same price as well. Real Fishing 3, excuse me. I played a little bit of Real Fishing. Which Real Fishing did I get? I think I got Real Fishing 1. I haven't got Real Fishing 2, or one or the other. I'm pretty sure it's not Real Fishing 2 I've got. But yeah, I played a bit of Real Fishing 1. It was okay, I suppose. I didn't really give myself enough time to get into it and to learn it, but it seemed okay. And Real Fishing 3, you know, it's just one of those games where if you see it cheap enough, i.e. £1, then you got to be like, yeah, fuck it, why not? That's a couple of PlayStation 2 games. Next up, we've got a trio of PlayStation 3 games. And the first one, to add to the collection, is Yakuza 3. Oh yes. Now, if only they released, I think, what was it, Yakuza 5 on physical version, or at least in the West anyway. I know they've got it in Japan. But it's nice to complete the physical collection of the Yakuza games. Now I've just got to get a hold of Yakuza 0, and then that'll be that, and well, until Yakuza Kimwari. I can't remember the exact wording, so that's probably another correction I'll make in the editing. But yeah, Yakuza 3, this was actually reasonably cheap. And yeah, it comes with the disc and the manual. And it comes with a, what is this, add-on game content code thingamabobble, which has probably been used. And an audio CD from the looks of it. Yeah, an enhanced audio CD. So there's that. Quite pleased with that. Next up, we've got Puppeteer. I played the demo of this actually on PS3, and I think it was alright. I think I wanted to give this a try. The demo I think was fun enough, and this was cheap enough. And it comes with the booklet and the disc, which is always a bonus. You know, getting a booklet. I tend to call this program, and looks alright actually. That's about all I can say for Puppeteer. I mean, the design seems interesting enough, so that's about all I can say about Puppeteer. Next up, this game is I know this game is highly regarded by a lot of people, and that is The Last of Us. I have been tempted to get this on PlayStation 4. I'm pretty sure there's a not remastered, I suppose, enhanced port, I'm going to say, of The Last of Us. But, you know, I thought to myself, you know, I'll get it on PS3, because why not? You know, I like to build up my PS3 library, and so this will help bulk it out, and a lot of people speak highly of The Last of Us, even I know that. And I think I remember posting on Twitter a little while ago if this was actually worth getting. I think a handful of people actually said that it was, so I decided to bite the bullet. And of course, comes with the disc and the manual. That's always good. And the disc is in pretty good condition. Ooh, I do like the artwork that's on the other side of the sleeve. That's quite nice. There we go. That's The Last of Us. Nice trio of games. Of course, it's made by Naughty Dog. And speaking of Naughty Dog, I've got a new game for PlayStation 4, and that is Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy. I haven't played this yet because I'm currently going through Crash Bandicoot 3 at the moment, but when I finish that, then I'll be moving on to the Insane Trilogy. I'm actually really looking forward to playing this. Obviously I got it brand new, well, not necessarily obvious, but yeah, no manual. I don't even know why they bothered to fucking put the clips in there. But yeah, that's about it. I think I got it reasonably cheap, because I think it's starting to sink in price now, so yeah, looking forward to this. I've already got high expectations of it, simply based off the originals. Next up, we got ourselves a PSP game, which I'm quite surprised A, I found in the wild, and B, I found it for as cheap as it was. And that is Ultimate, yeah, that's a good one, Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins. Now I had a look on this on eBay, because whenever I pop into CEX and I see something kind of like this, you know, a game, you know, from a series that's highly desired, always go onto eBay and check out what the going rate is. And for Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins, it seemed the going rate, at least for a disc only, for whatever reason, was 15 quid. As you can see there, got it for 8 quid from CEX. I know what CEX are doing at the minute. They seem to be pricing some of the good retro stuff at the moment reasonably well. I don't have it in there because it's in my PSP at the moment. Yeah, they seem to be pricing certain retro items or really decent titles at the moment for cheap at the moment. Obviously some of the really obvious retro stuff is going for like stupid money. I mean, like, yeah, whatever, not paying that much. Yeah, Ghosts and Goblins, it's I enjoy it. It's quite challenging, but it seems to it's got that system in video games where you die, you carry on, you start your next life from where you died instead of at the beginning like the original Ghosts and Goblins did, and I think Ghouls and Ghosts as well. So to say that it's slightly easier would actually be quite accurate. It's not much easier because it's still Ghosts and Goblins, so it's still quite hard, but it's a little bit easier. It gives you a bit of slack, not much. Right, next up is a game, again, which I found quite surprisingly cheap in CEX. That is Virtua Fighter 2. Let's see, I've already got, what have I got already? I've got Virtua Fighter 3 for the Dreamcast, and I think that's about it. I've only played a little bit of Virtua Fighter, but the little that I have played of it, I think I enjoyed it. I mean, I played 3 in the arcade a long ass time ago, and that was about it. But yeah, this actually surprised me how cheap it was. If I remember rightly, it was £3.50, and it's got the very thick instruction manual, and the disc is in pretty good condition as well. Yeah, it's only like a surface mark on there, and that's it. So that's not going to affect the gameplay that much. And the case itself, despite being the cardboard case that's literally just glued onto two plastic slabs that call themselves a disc case, it's in really good condition. I mean, it's got a bit of a bobbling, I suppose, for lack of a better expression, on the top, on the case, on the cardboard bit, but that's to be expected from a case this old. But it's actually been kept in really good condition, and for £3.50, I'm actually quite surprised about that. So I picked it up straight away. I was like, yep, you got something in your window there, I want to get hold of it. And I'm like, no problem. So that's all the games I've got. Well, technically anyway. We've got ourselves a couple of main event items now, so I'm just going to put them to one side. Right. For the third item in a row, this is something I found in CEX. For as cheap as it was, I was actually surprised once again. I was like, okay, this is for this particular console, and it's this cheap. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. And that is the Sega Saturn Arcade Racer steering wheel. This, how much was it again, if I remember rightly? Because I did stick the price in the lid. Yeah, there we are. For a boxed arcade racing stick for the Sega Saturn, a highly desirable collector's console. It's not going to stick back on. This was only £8. And I think, if I remember rightly, this was going for about 20, 30, somewhere in that region on eBay. And I'm like, CEX, what are you doing? Do you think nobody wants this? Well, somebody did want it, and that somebody was me. So I've got a couple of races for the Sega Saturn. I've got Daytona USA and Manx TT Superbike. And this is just, it's really, really cool. I mean, to see a picture of it does absolutely no justice whatsoever. There we are. You can see the comparison straight away. It's actually really cool, and it's adjustable as well, which I thought was quite cool. I mean, if I unlock it here, you can move it to your heart's desire. So if you prefer to drive like that, that's always a good idea. Yeah, probably like a proper car, or just have it up there and pretend you're playing Euro Truck Simulator or whatever, or Tokyo Bus Guide. It's actually really cool. I haven't actually used it yet, so I don't know if it actually works. And of course, if you want, you can adjust the height of the wheel as well. So yeah, I really pulled out the stops with the Sega Saturn wheel. I actually really like this. In fact, I might actually keep this out after the video and boot up the Sega Saturn. It actually feels quite nice. I mean, it's not like the it doesn't feel as robust and force feedback enabled goodness of like the current generation wheels for like PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. But it's still a decent enough wheel, and I think it will serve its purpose. So that's the penultimate item I've got. The last item, a lot of people probably should know by now that I have, because I've shown it on Twitter. Ugh, that down there, that's fine. And that is, if I can actually pick the blasted thing up without damaging it, the collector's edition of Sonic Mania. Now, when I finally got this in, as you can see down there, it's just been torn down the side there. So I was like, great, thanks Amazon. So let's just take off the slipcase. Everyone and their mother knows what's inside here, but we're just going to show it off anyway. Just going to have to move Daisy to one side. You can go there. Hi! I open the box up like this. La 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 la. Just take that out. It comes with a safety precaution nonsense. Right, you guys can see the main event right there. We'll just take it out for a second. Right, obviously it comes with the can't get the blinking cartridge out. Tell you what, instead of making it difficult for myself, we'll just pop the box there. The box itself is actually really nice. Right, see, we've got ourselves a fake cartridge replica with Sonic Mania cover on the front, which is actually really cool. If we pull the connector out, you got yourself a nice little gold ring there. It's fairly decent. It's slightly heavy gold ring, but that's pretty much all it is. And the connector is just simply a piece of plastic with yellow paper across it with some gold strips. It doesn't really do anything. And one thing I noticed about the cartridge, actually, because I compared it to a real Mega Drive cartridge, because I'm just that sad, it's actually slightly thicker than an ordinary Mega Drive cartridge, so this won't actually fit inside the European Mega Drive, but it does fit inside the Asian Mega Drive. Actually, is my Mega Drive down there? Yeah, my Mega Drive's not connected at the minute. Ta-da! So yeah, this will actually fit inside the Asian Mega Drive, because the cartridge slot is wide enough. It won't go all the way down, but there we go. If only, right? Sonic Mania on the Sega Mega Drive. And speaking of the Mega Drive, actually no, before I do that, and obviously, and I don't know why I keep saying obviously, and at the end of all this, it's got a Sonic Mania metallic, well, not actually metallic, it is actually a metal card, listen. Metal card with Sonic Mania artwork on this side with Sonic, and Knuckles and Tails on the other side. And if we look on the bottom here, in the bottom corner, it quite simply says, "Fun is infinite." I don't really know if you guys were able to see that or not. I hope you were. If not, then I'll just go back on the editing and just pop a picture in there. Yeah. Now it's time for the main event. Obviously, he's just been stood here the entire time. It's a little Sonic statue on top of a replica Mega Drive. Now, the funny thing about this Mega Drive is, it's actually smaller. No, excuse me, it's actually much bigger than the original Mega Drive. It's, yeah, there we go. I'd say it's about 1.5 centimeters bigger. Each way, yeah. So it's not quite 1-to-1. It's actually bigger. And of course, you got yourself your little switch here that simply goes like this. And that's all it does. The LED originally didn't light up, but I opened this up and I found that the circuit board inside was simply like that big. And there was a couple of solder points for the LED. And I'm like, okay, that's strange, so let's just connect it all up, and it works. So, yeah. The volume slider doesn't work, that's just for show. The reset button is simply painted on, as is the headphone socket and the controller ports. And it takes 2 AA batteries, and that's pretty much all there is to it. It does have a very slight, plasticky, cheap feel to it. So and Sonic himself, he's alright. He's pretty much what you expect from a plastic figurine. I mean, the Sonic Generations figurines weren't any different. They were smaller, but they weren't really much different in terms of plastic density and all that balls. But yeah, that's pretty much it actually. This probably really wasn't worth the money that I paid for it, because even though I saved up over a course of a few months, so it didn't feel like I was paying out a large wedge of cash for what turns out to be a rather poor collector's edition, especially when you compare it to the Sonic Generations special edition, which was actually really cool. So yeah, guys and girls, that's everything for today. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you around.